It's Paul Marsh, and I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by Jordan Banjo from Diversity. Jordan, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, Paul. You all right, mate?
I'm very, very good. I like to think of myself as a busy man, but I don't think I can even compare to how busy you are because you just got your fingers in all the pies.
I'm trying, Paul. I'm trying. We've all got mortgages to pay, mate, haven't we? So I'm trying to be as busy as possible.
So you are just about to head out on tour again with Diversity Soul 2026, going all over the UK, coming to the Portsmouth Guildhall on the 24th and the 25th of March. It's been nearly 2 decades of diversity. Do you ever catch yourself just like for a second thinking how far you've come?
Yeah, 100%. Because when I get out of bed, my knees click, and I'm only 33, so I definitely think that, Paul. But all jokes aside, the way you even just described it there, like, we're coming to Portsmouth. We've got one of our biggest tours yet, coming on 80 dates. It's mad to think that we're still doing this nearly 2 decades on. I still look at my mum's still our manager, my older brother's still there, all my best mates with me, and sometimes you have to pinch yourself, and that's kind of the nice part. We're at a stage now where, yeah, I'm only 33, but I'm definitely old enough to sort of look back and go, oh, I can appreciate this as it happens. But when you first win, I was only 16, 17. You take it for granted. You're like, yeah, this is really cool. I'm doing this, and this. You don't enjoy the ride, just sort of going with it.
Yeah.
We're sort of blessed enough. And for some acts, they have that 18 months and then that's it. For us, we've been lucky enough that it's lasted long enough that I can still keep looking back and going, wow, we're doing some really cool stuff.
Well, after all this time, it must be difficult to keep coming up with new things all the time to keep audiences impressed and surprised.
Well, that's the thing. You would say that. And I remember when we first started, it was about dancing and throwing a kid with an afro up in the air. And then we're now in 2026, and I think on the long list of things that we've done in our tours, we've had like illusions, escapology, like being locked in tanks of water. We had to perform, we had to do all these different courses and learn to perform with fire, which I actually set myself alight on one show, which wasn't brilliant. All these different things, and now we've arrived here where we've got AI, lasers, actual robots on stage, all this crazy stuff happening, and I'm like, I'm a little bit scared for what 2027, 2028 might hold. I don't know what Ash is going to even. It's going to bring dinosaurs back, I think, and start bringing them on stage. I'm a little bit scared about where we're going, but it just gets bigger and better every year.
Well, like you say, I know that AI is a massive part of the new tour. It's called Soul, and I know that the show is kind of like the difference between AI and humans is that it's soul. And growing, so like you say, you haven't grown up with AI, but it's not a complete, completely new thing to you.
Hmm.
Is that something that you encounter every single day, and like that distinction? Because somebody like myself, I'm 44, 10 years older than yourself, and I'm learning about it, social media, internet, that I've grown up with that. AI is something new for me. Is it less of that for you?
No, I would still say it's something, and I think that's the weird thing. I think AI and the way, because we've been talking about AI since the film flipping iRobot came out with
Yeah.
Will Smith, right? We've been talking about AI for 20 years. But I think we can probably agree on this. In the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen this jump
Yeah.
where it's gone like, whoa, like before, AI was basically Google. You'd ask it, it'd give you a search result. Now it's like you're talking to someone. It's actually scary. Like, it is freaky. It has its own voice. It can create faces. It can do this. It can do that. And it's like, whoa, like, and I guess that was, again, I'm about to restart the conversation that me and Ash had a year ago, which led to the idea for the tour. Like, what does it mean at one stage? The more advanced it gets, what does it mean to be human, right? And it was that kind of chat where I think it'll be like my kids, or I'm not sure if you've got kids yourself, Paul,
Yeah.
but it'll be like that sort of like age that will be like, oh, AI's just always been part of it. Like, now I think it's funny where, I don't know, things that my dad will go, oh, that's mad, about on my phone, about taking pictures. My kids will look at me and go, sorry, you had to get a phone out to take a picture. You couldn't just blink and it was there. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of stuff that we're headed in that direction. And that's what I find so crazy. Like, that will be the norm before we know it.
Just to move away from that for a second, because I know that as well as being well known for diversity, you've done lots and lots of other bits and pieces. One of the things that you're really getting into, and I think this has gone from a hobby to a little bit more than a hobby, is your boxing.
Yes, yes. It's a weird one because my dad was a boxer. and I always wanted to box, and he wouldn't have it. He was like, "No, you can't box." So he put me in the much more dangerous sport of competitive street dance. Once I started branching out from diversity, I was hosting and presenting. I've always been a big boxing fan, so I started hosting boxing shows. Um, and then I was hosting these boxing shows, interviewing fighters and stuff. And I was like, I feel like an armchair fan. Like I'd love to know a bit more about, even if it's just having a few spars, that moment of like a punch is come in, or you've got to block this or parry that or move that. How does it feel? And once you start training, you're like, oh, I felt quite good on the bag, and oh, I felt quite good on the pads, and that spar went well. And the next thing you know, you get asked to do a fight, and then you have one, and then you win it, and then you're like, oh, now I'm in. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind, the whole boxing thing, but I'm enjoying it.
How far is it going to go for you? Because obviously you got there are plenty of celebrity boxers now, plenty of influencer boxers, the world of misfit boxing and all of that.
Yeah.
Are you interested in that?
Well, I've only had one fight, and it was on Misfits, right? And after that fight, I'll be honest with you, Paul, I was devastated. I stopped the guy in the last round, but I went back to the dressing room and cried. I was so upset because I was like, I performed. I cannot explain how different it was from sparring to act. It was league. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I've got to have at least one more to prove to myself that I can do it. So I know that I'll definitely be fighting again soon. And then after that, who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
Take it one fight at a time.
That's what I'll do, I reckon. That's what I'll do.
After 5.5 years of doing a breakfast show,
yes.
How much is it to have a lie-in?
Well, we call it a lie-in. I've traded the 3:15 alarm for a 6 o'clock alarm to get everything ready for a school run. And at least before, I'd get up and then I'd drive into work and have an hour to myself. Now I wake up and I get greeted with 6, 7 from the moment my eyes open. So I'm not sure which one was worse, to be honest with you, Paul. But they're both challenging in different ways, mate.
It's funny you say that because I'm up at 6 a.m. for all the school bits and pieces, and I get up at 6 and my kids get up at 6:30. So I have that half an hour of putting the coffee on, maybe tidying up a little bit last night. I have that half an hour of myself, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, they're my kids as well. They're honestly, mate, they're like greyhounds or Rottweilers. So like they've got hearing of like dogs. So all I've got to do is breathe the wrong way, and they sit up in their beds like I'm ready to go. If he's awake, I'm awake. Do you know what I mean?
But did you enjoy it? Is it something you want to get back into at another stage?
Yeah. No, I did. All jokes aside, as much as the alarm was early, being part of people's routine and part of their day, I never realised how much it was until it ended. And we had all these messages, and I still get messages. I'll get a random message, and it sounds like you're broken up. Someone messaged me like, "Mate, I miss your voice." Like I was so used to hearing that every day. I haven't heard it for like a week, and it feels weird. And I'm like, "Mate, it feels weird for me not telling you about my day yesterday." It's an odd one. So at some point, we've got tour, we've got a bunch of things happening. Once that slows down a bit, then 100%.
Well, my mate Nick Bright has just started drive time on Kiss. So what advice can you give him? Any insider tips, any secrets?
Oh, Nick Bright, he's a legend himself, man. I mean, I don't know how many tips it needs to me, but at Kiss, just be prepared for a little bit of a wild ride. That's what I will say to him. Okay. I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he probably already knows what I mean if he's been there a week and a half. But be prepared for a wild ride and enjoy it, mate.
Well, look, Jordan, thank you so much for talking to me, mate. I really do appreciate it. Best of luck. Diversity are out on tour with Soul 2026, and they are coming to the Portsmouth Guildhall on Tuesday, the 24th, and Wednesday, the 25th of March. Jordan, enjoy the rest of your day.
Cheers, Paul. You too, mate. Thank you.